6 o'clock, and we'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so we have all board members except our student representatives, and Ross Nelson are not here tonight. And let's see, I need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Dina.
Second.
Second by Pamela.
Sorry.
Too slow.
It's okay.
There's more, don't worry.
No, I'm letting it go. Yeah, yeah.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we are moving on to our facilities project presentation. Mr. Stump, I will let you start this off.
Great, at this time, Tom Nelson, outdoor facilities, and Mike Renford can make their way up without me begging you more. I know they're excited too. I'll lay a little bit of the foundation and then turn it over to the experts, of course. Just a reminder, not just, you got information that was in the board materials, but you remember the bond that was failed in 2023, we actually had a roughly $7 million complex, 2 baseball, 2 softball fields off-site. Going back, we listened to our community and, got feedback, and what we heard was, and then went out and asked for was, just improve your current properties at a fraction of the cost of the other proposed projects. So that's what you're seeing in this dollar amount. From that, then, we thought there's some irrigation, there's some fencing, and there's some opportunities to maximize our current facilities at a much cheaper rate. Now, does it solve all problems? Absolutely not. I don't think any part of this project solves every single problem we have, but it definitely makes it better. So you see in the background information, there's about $260,000 from our facilities project that we have dedicated to outdoor fields and improving those. That includes like fencing and irrigation, and then just existing field upgrade, or not even upgrades, just getting them up to some standards. Some of that though, it's just like with other projects, the contingency is our LTFM dollars, and I don't think we want to necessarily dip into them, especially when you get into like fixing some fencing, some other stuff, but that might be down the road. What you're seeing in front of you is about $170,000. So it's not the whole package of 260, but it's what we determined is a good starting point to get us into July and get some work done in July. Because again, we pulled out this $260 from the referendum from the ATS&R, so we're not paying their fee on it. We're not paying RE Morton's fee on this or their time on this. This is just our district staff, namely these two, have put in a lot of sweat and just trying to get these bids in front of you. And so we're taking on the work ourselves, but there is some internal additional work that these two have done. We wanted this on last week's board meeting, but it just wasn't gonna come to fruition at that time. So this is the start of it. This is not the last you'll see of project details, because there'll be more that will probably come to you in July to wrap up some of this. But you think I missed anything off in the basic? So, maybe we can work backwards. I think what you see in your diagram is numbers of fields. So as we maybe real quick start, field 1 is labeled here, what we're considering a JV softball field. Field 2 is the existing varsity baseball field. Field 3 is the existing varsity softball field, labeled here on field 3. This diagram doesn't necessarily represent the quotes, because in what's listed field 4 in your materials is actually this practice softball field that overlaps with the discus area. So this is technically what you'd see as field 4 that we're calling to remove it. And then field 5 is actually the JV baseball field. Field 6, there's some fencing, there's some minor work, but that basically stays where it is. And then there's some there's some upgrades, we're just not sure, not upgrades, just some fixes that need to happen over at Eagle View. We're just not sure to what extent we're gonna, take on all of those in one swoop. So there will be something over at Eagle View. This plan is, the foundation of it was 3 competition softball fields, 3 competition baseball fields, and 3 football practice fields, maximizing the space as best we can. So you'll see softball is field 1, field 3, and then the 2 over at Eagle View at this point right now, we're considering them to be multi-purpose fields, so they can host 2 junior high baseball, 2 junior high softball, 9th grade baseball or 9th grade softball. So we're considering those multi-purpose fields to maximize our current facilities. And then you can see baseball, you got JV baseball and varsity baseball. And then you can see we're trying to fit, right now we currently have 1 practice football field, and we're trying to move things around so we can actually fit 2 varsity football practice fields. One of them is gonna be a game field for some junior high games or some lower level football games, but have 2 practice fields and of course the main field. So again, is this the perfect plan with as much space as we could ever dream of? Absolutely not. And I think that's what our community asks for, like, just take your current spaces and improve them and make them better as best you can. So that's what the plan in front of you is for. I will also say, between Tom Nelson and Bill Magnuson, have really worked with our coaches. This started in the design team meetings with our architects. We had the large group there, talked about it, got a plan that we felt good about, and then just removed it from the architects, from their schedule, and just said, we'll take this on ourselves. And since then, there's been a ton of conversations between coaching staffs and Mr. Magnuson, Tom Nelson, to try and, like, what do we really want? Does this work? Is this home base? If we move it back far enough, is this okay?
Can I clarify something that you said really quickly? This is coming out of what fund?
So-
All the things on today's agenda?
All the things on today's agenda are proposed for our referendum fund.
They are.
Yes, for a bond. There could be some things that if we're a little bit over budget, that we could code to LTFM if need be. And we'd be upfront about that next time if we bring something that's over budget, we'd say this is where it would be coming from and work through it that way. Okay, I know you two are jumping up to speak. Do you wanna should we go field by field and what's happening? And then, they can see the sort of the quotes in the background and, that piece of it, is that gonna be the easiest?
I think that makes the most logical sense, would you, Tom?
Sure.
That it kind of puts it in geographic perspective, so.
So we'll start with field 1?
Yep. Do you wanna start, or would you like me, or?
I can do it. So with losing field 4, which is our JV softball field, we need to upgrade field 1, which is kind of up in the recess end of our school, middle level end. This has been kind of a neglected field. There's been some issues with it, with rocks coming through the agrolime. So it hasn't been the best field. The backstop on that is too close. It's only about 15 feet. So there's not a lot of room for catcher umpire in a game situation. It's used a lot for youth softball, baseball. There used to be, I know when I first started working here, there was some 7th, 8th grade softball that was played there, but it was deemed almost unsafe with that backstop being so close. The other thing with the backstop, it has a 45-degree top on it, so any foul ball would hit straight up and come right back down on the umpire or the catcher, or sometimes even the batter. So there was kind of a big safety concern with that field. So that one, we're looking at doing a full renovation. It is also an area that is not irrigated right now with our sprinkler system. So with redoing that whole field, we're looking at moving the field a little bit to the south, because if we were gonna put a JV softball on there, we'd like to get close to that 190-foot foul line. Right now, we're at about 169 where the plate is currently. So we'd have to move that plate to the south. So that field is gonna take pretty much a total renovation. And then with that, we'll need some new fencing. So that's.
Are we gonna lose some parking spots when you move the You're talking about way in the upper corner, right? It's not even numbered on our.
This
paper?
one there.
Oh, we're talking there.
Yep,
Okay, I apologize.
yep. Yeah, so it won't affect any parking.
Got it? No, I was looking at the wrong field.
So there is enough room on that footprint to move it to the south and still stay off our curbed roadway in for buses, cars, all that.
It also won't impact, we do store, if you will, a lot of snow there in the wintertime. We just need flat spots that are unused to be able to collect and place the snow, and it won't impact that either. So that was one of our concerns, because you can't take any of that away from us. We need all the area we can utilize, so have, so.
The other thing, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, this is right now just a squared off fence in the outfield.
Yes.
So the fence is actually a regulation fence the entire way from left field to right field, I guess. Plus, we think that's not in our budget, there's an opportunity to actually put a batting cage out in left field at some point too. So there is some space there.
More questions at the end, or?
You want to just take them by field? Yeah, I'd say take them by field, otherwise it's gonna get.
Well, Madam Chair, just, this refers to something Mike just said. Does having that as a snow dump in any way change the quality of the field?
We won't be dumping snow onto the field. It's just that we do dump it along the fence and where the bus drop-off road is, we do store some there. And then around that would be the south and east sides of it. But we push a lot of snow, nothing will be going on the field, so it won't impact that. But having that fence encroach a little more could be an impact, but we've determined that the way it's gonna be positioned will not impact us for snow storage.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good question.
Yes.
And it's also a little confusing, I think, because we have this middle school outdoor area, but it looks like it's like, the next picture up there is actually Eagle View, right? So that's like a little awkward.
Yeah.
But when you look at making this a JV softball field, taking in seating and parking, like putting that over here, has that been taken into consideration, like spectators and like where people are gonna park? Cause does that middle school outdoor area take some of the parking? No?
No.
Okay.
No. So they would park in what is the bus loading and unloading area now, and possibly the, west side of the school where the middle school, some of the staff park there.
Oh, you don't wanna park there?
No,
No.
well, depending on how many people it would be.
Well, foul balls, you don't,
Yeah.
But it doesn't change what's there today, I mean,
Yeah.
that parking, it's not changing the
we're
parking.
not losing
No.
any.
Right.
No.
Okay,
No impact on parking. No.
okay.
No, and there's a fence that goes along the road that the buses take in, that comes in from South Oak Street. That fence is far enough back so when spectators sit, fans, they're inside that fence, so there's no actual screening to protect people on the sideline. With the new fencing that we're proposing, that'll have, both first base and third base will have like screening for fans and players, so they won't be in direct line of foul balls.
Can we put aggregate under the fence so we don't have to weed whack it?
That's a great thought.
We'll probably go right up to it.
The only problem with aggregate and young kids is that it goes everywhere.
Just like, yeah. Now, I mean, while we're doing it,
So I see most of you have your computers. I think if you're okay, I'm gonna click out of this presentation and we can real quick talk about vendors. We don't have to do this, unless you wanna do this for
I
every
actually
field.
was just gonna suggest that we go through, we take a motion, and I was gonna suggest that we go into the motion for field one,
Oh, okay.
and then we go back, cause
Yeah.
we're talking about it, since there's a lot of motions, let's get the conversation out of
Yeah.
field one, and then move on to field two. So
Yeah.
I would propose that is that okay?
Unless you want us to talk about all the field one right now, so, or you just as you go.
I think, I just would like to take the motions by field,
Okay.
because that way we can stay focused
Yep.
on what we're talking about.
Yep.
That makes sense, yeah.
So, I'm asking for a motion to approve the contract with Magic Turf for renovations to Field One as presented.
so move.
Motion by Kurt,
Second.
second by Mariah, and now we can talk about,
Yeah, I would just point out with a couple of these vendors, and so Magic Turf did come up, did a walkthrough, we've chatted with them, had another conference, had 2 or 3 other conference calls with them to solidify. They actually gave us basically a menu of options for each field, and, you know, these two with their expertise and working with our coach, like, no, we can do this ourselves, or, yes, include this. So we've looked through it and feel like this is a good value for our district. Did reference checks, I, personally worked with them in a prior school district. I know we've got some of our current vendors also, as reference checks, who does the egg line and say, yep, these are good people to work with that we feel confident in this vendor. They are through a cooperating purchasing agent as well, so we didn't have to necessarily go for bids, because you'll see some of these are over $25,000.
Did we use tips for all of them?
For Magic Turf, yes. Yes. Anything else you want to say about Magic Turf?
What stadiums do they do? They know what they're doing, based on their evaluation, the discussions we had, they could see things that we spent a lot of time trying to ascertain, and this gentleman came out and he could pinpoint them right now, and so it's a very trained eye when they're able to look for that and base it on the depth of what they presume our ag line is and how much to remove and replace, and what's the best way to approach cutouts of first and third base lines and things. It was kind of refreshing to have a professional come and make sure that we're pretty much on the right page, but yet they have the skills, background, and equipment to do what we're looking for.
And you see, the reason, you're not gonna see much of the dirt work happen until August, but we needed to get this first step done because they're gonna come and do the survey. You see this in theirs, they actually survey where home plate is gonna be moved. So then after the survey is done, then we can work with our fencing and irrigation, and then they can get that done in July. So then we're ready to move fields and do the rest of it in August as well. So you might not see work done already, but it was important to get this meeting and these approvals done for that reason.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Kurt.
So, I'm obviously very puzzled about the structure of this agenda, but regardless, I'll just go with the flow here. There's a number of facilities that these guys are involved with, right? And what happens if we catch a bunch of rain? Are they there? Do we have penalties in there? Are they gonna come back? What's their commitment to us? Have we lost a lot of playing time because we're disrupting a lot of these fields? No?
No, I think we needed to have the field in use through the end of June. So I think our time frame is good. They're not gonna get.
Yes or no? I mean, if it's not gonna disrupt it.
No, and they're not gonna get paid
Okay.
until the work is done.
Well, I
No
understand
matter
that
if there's
too.
a rain delay.
But I mean, things could get crazy, because we've got a 60-day window. Is that about what it is?
About,
Yeah, so, I just pray to God we're not starting on September 3rd and we've got mud and dirt and piles and
Yeah, although,
finger lime and all this crap, because we'll take the football field.
I
out
think
there.
respectfully, these two project managers, there's some stuff that could get done the first week of September.
Well, I have
and
no
not-
question about these.
Not
As a matter
affect
of fact,
school.
I'm wondering why they're not just doing this whole thing.
Yeah.
They don't even, I mean, why? Okay, keep going.
So,
I know.
there's removal of other fields that we want.
I will take this comment for every other item that we have
You
today.
know, this is the only time to do
Okay.
this.
So
Okay, any other?
they know what stuff has to get done before the first day
Well,
of
of course
football
they do.
and what stuff,
Yeah.
whatever
Glad
else
you're
can
here.
wait, so.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Amy.
Okay, so if you don't mind, like each field, so field number 1 is 20,355, correct? Okay, and so just to confirm with our community, all of the expenses that are within this field have been approved by our taxpayers via referendum, is that correct?
Yeah, that dollar amount of 260,000, what was in the referendum, yes, and what you're seeing today, the about dollar amount is $173,000. So there's still money that will come back to the board and say, here's how we'd like to finish off these
Okay.
projects.
So
And I
all of
just
these motions
wanna-
are about 170 of the 260. Okay.
And just wanna confirm that within each of these motions, they have all been approved by our taxpayers. Is there anything
Well, we're doing
outside of
approval.
that we would have to use the,
You're talking about
Yeah.
what's the amount of money? Well, that's the 260, there was 260,000 set aside in the budget.
Yeah, we're saving some money here.
okay. I guess I
For now.
just wanting to clarify that
Yeah.
if anything is outside of what was approved by our taxpayers,
Yeah.
where would those funds come from?
It's
And you
gonna come
mentioned
before the
L-
board, LTFM.
Yeah,
Other questions on field 1? Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to field 2.
Hold on, so this is where, do you wanna do field 1 irrigation, number 10?
Sure. Field 1,
Yeah, this is it.
So throw. Yep. This is Kurt.
This is where he's having.
I'm gonna take a motion to approve the contract with Rainbow Lawns Irrigation Systems for renovations to Field 1.
So moved.
Motion by Pamela,
Enthusiastically second.
second enthusiastically by Kurt. Kurt, I'm gonna guess you have a comment.
No, I don't. No, we're gonna let her rip.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, any other questions? Okay, if no further questions, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Did the owl just hoot at us?
I heard it.
Did, but I thought it was working.
Or was that one of you two?
That was talking orderly.
So I was like, wow, whoever's over there hooting is very good.
Is that you, Joelle?
Not me. Never heard that before.
I've never heard that noise. Okay. Oh my
That's
goodness.
the owl telling me to stop.
Yeah, the owl's talking to Kurt. It's
Yeah.
enough. Lock it up, Kurt. Okay, Field 2, which is our varsity baseball field, correct? So if you all wanna go into that.
The varsity baseball field is in pretty good shape. The quote from Magic Turf was very minimal. It was just, the equipment we have for like grading the fields, it's more of a maintenance than it is like reshaping. The goal that we wanna try to get with all these fields is to maximize our playing on them. So when we get a small rain, like a 1/4 inch, hopefully we can still play a game that day. Right now, some of our fields have dips and high spots. We're getting puddling where even a small rain is making us cancel games that we can't play, which gets very hard in the spring season when the baseball, softball seasons are so short, depending on when our winter ends and spring starts. So that's kind of the goal there. So with Magic Turf's quote on that one, I think they're just doing some lip removal, fixing some minor imperfections in what they call the skin, which is the infield. We do have some fencing issues on that field. Backstop is, the weave is bowed out quite a bit, stretched or whatever, I don't know what word you wanna use on that. And then we have some down the first base line that have happened within the last couple of years, but I think these fences have been they've been here a long time.
Oh, they were there when I was in high school, and we just couldn't catch very good. That's why they're all bent up.
That's it.
You couldn't do what very well?
I'm glad we had that
Catch very
historical
well.
lesson.
What balls are
But
going?
it's just, we haven't really done a lot of maintenance on our fences, you know, so that things have kinda caught up and so we're kinda behind on some of our fences getting them fixed.
Okay, and that's the fence and deck renovations as part of
Yeah.
this too, right? Okay. Perfect. Any questions from the board on Field 2? Anything else you all want to add? Otherwise, we'll hop into the motion. Okay, I am looking for a motion to approve the contract with Magic Turf for renovations to Field 2. Motion by Dina.
Second.
Second by Pamela. Any other discussion or questions? Any other discussion? Okay, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will move to number 15. I'm looking for a motion to approve the contract with the lead fence and deck for renovations to Field 2.
So moved.
Motion by Mariah,
Second.
second by Kurt. Any discussion or questions? Any further questions? Okay, if no further questions, I'll go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we are moving on to Field 3, which is ours at the JV field,
No, varsity softball.
varsity softball.
And again, that one's in pretty good shape too. I think the worst thing on that one is our fencing. Both foul line fencing are really stretched out. They're, pretty wavy as you go down the line, and they're sticking into the field of play. So we're looking at replacing both sidelines and the backstop on that one.
Okay, any other questions from, any comments, anything else?
And then same with the Magic Turf has a quote for that one too, and it's just minor repairs on that one.
Perfect, well, I'll get a motion on the table, and we'll see if there's further questions. Looking for a motion to approve the contract with Magic Turf for renovations to Field 3 as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Pamela,
Second.
second by Dina. Any further questions on Field 3, Field 3, Magic Turf? Any other questions or discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are moving on to number 12. We are looking for a motion to approve the contract with Rainbow Lawns Irrigation System for renovations to Field 3 and discuss field as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Pamela,
Second.
second by Amy. Any discussion on the irrigation?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
are we able to integrate all the new improvements on irrigation with our existing system, or are we gonna have to abate quite a bit of our former system with technology, that sort of thing? Wiring controls,
Our controller is,
best guess, Tom, I guess.
our controller's got 16 zones, that's where we have 16 now,
Yeah.
but they have ability to add on to that same controller.
Good.
And same thing with the irrigation up on one, they have, what they call it, add a zone?
Add a zone,
Yeah,
Nice.
so they're able to add on.
That's good to hear.
Do you mind, so this is outside Field 1, 2, this irrigation is this area?
Actually, they're gonna run, all our runs
It's gonna
for
be
the
integrated.
irrigation.
Yeah.
Our main line, we have a big 4-inch, this is our pump house. And our main line runs down this gravel road that goes along the varsity softball and it comes all the way down. And what they do is they run lines down with, I think each one's got like 7 heads on it. And so what they were proposing is to continue what we have here and bring on, so that in the irrigation quotes, there's what they call practice field. And that would encompass what the new practice field, because right now you can see this part is not irrigated. And then there's another part that actually did include, it's hard to see with the circle there, but there's only 3 heads in the outfield and the varsity softball field. So you can see how it gets very dry around it. This would address that and then also add some sprinklers into that discus area that.
Each one of them drops a zone then, Tom?
Yeah, I think.
So if we lose one, we don't lose the whole damn system?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. This will be 3 zones, but I think 6 valves to do both the practice and the varsity softball.
Any other discussion or questions?
Well, yeah, Madam Chair.
Yes.
So I see, and I know we're gonna get to it probably, but at the very end here, we're dealing with Brian Rock on the aggregate. Are we doing what we used to do, is you guys are just bringing a big trailer full of aggregate and you're still spreading it? Or are they
Some.
spreading it for us? A combination,
Yeah, it is a combination.
It's a combination, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the
They're
Magic
bringing
Turf
some
is,
equipment in.
they're located out of Rogers, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna mobilize and come up here, but for them, they don't have dump trucks to bring up the agar lime, so that was on us, that was part of the contract, that we would have to supply the agar lime for them to add
Okay.
onto the field. So a lot of those quotes have them putting the agar lime on.
Okay, got it. I just wondered how that worked. Got it? Thank you.
Other questions?
You're on number 12, right?
I'm on number 12.
Great.
Am I over talking here?
No?
Yeah, field, well, Kurt went off,
Yeah,
We're
I
going
went
all
off,
over
I
here.
dragged us in the ditch.
yeah.
All good.
Cause you were talking about 13, weren't you, Kurt?
I just generally, I mean, it's an issue on each one of these fields. We got agrolim in everything that we're talking about here, except for football field and tennis courts. But anyway, yeah, so that's how I wanted to know how that happened.
Okay, good,
Thank you.
yes.
It's magic.
Any other questions? Okay, if there's no further questions, we're gonna go ahead and take a vote on the motion, which is the Rainbow Lawns Irrigation System for renovations to Field 3. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and then we are moving to number 16. We're gonna approve the contract with Elite. I'm looking for a motion to approve the contract with Elite Fence and Deck for renovations to Field 3.
So moved.
Motion by Dina,
Second.
second by Mariah. Any questions? This looks very similar. There's a picture in your packet with the quote. Okay, any other questions or discussion? If no further questions, I'll take a vote on the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So I know you two don't have your agenda in front of you, but field 4, there's a couple things. Magic turf, that's the removal that we can talk about. Practice football field and irrigation system, which you sort of addressed. I don't know if you have anything else to add there. Shrub excavating, removal practice, renovations to practice football field, and I can bring these up to refresh your memory on this. And then field 4 also has fencing with a lead fence deck.
So field 4 is the JV field.
Field 4 is this field that's covered over right
Oh,
there.
it's a little
Yep.
teeny. I just really wanna talk about that JV field. Just keep bringing it up. Okay, so that's the old field, full field, old field.
Yeah.
Yeah, full
Yep.
floor.
Okay. I've never known the numbers, and I
Yeah.
think I've had kids that have played on them a very long time, so.
You wanna talk through those?
I can. Sorry, I live out there every day. It does. Well, field 4, we got a quote from Magic Turf to remove the agrolime, bring in some topsoil, put some sod down and make it so we can use it as a practice football field. We felt we could use some of our local resources to cut some cost on that. So we're gonna use our equipment to remove the agrolime and move it over to field 5, which we're gonna have some renovations on. We got a quote from Shrub, it's in your packet, to bring in black dirt and spread that, which is way cheaper than I think what Magic Turf would have done. And the only issue we have that we still need Magic Turf for on that is sod. It's hard to get sod. Magic Turf has a company that they do big rolls of sod instead of a lot of little ones. Because if we're gonna try to play football on there in August, September, it'd be nice to have those big rolls of sod, less seams. We can get sod to root much faster than we can, if we did seed, we wouldn't be able to use that field this year. So that's another reason. So there's a little more money in sod versus seed, but I think just the nature of trying to use it this year, yeah, that's the way we're gonna have to go.
Good work.
Any other?
The only, the shrub, there's a couple things in there, moving goalposts and tearing out the cement. I don't know if there's questions from the board or if you're good with that.
Can I just clarify, field 4 in this motion, is it the JV field, or is it the field that's no longer a field?
Correct, field no longer a field.
That's why I'm feeling confused, because I see, okay. So the motion that I'm looking for, and then we'll open up further questions, that we're talking about is the field that's essentially going away.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve the contract with Magic Turf for renovations to field 4 as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Pamela.
Second.
Second by Dina. Any further questions? Any additional questions? Okay, if no further questions, I'm gonna take a vote on the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And is there anything else with field?
Yeah,
Or-
number 11 probably?
Small fence, yeah.
Yep, okay, so the next motion, number 11, I need a motion to approve the contract with Rainbow Lawns Irrigation for renovations to the practice football field as presented.
So moved.
Motion-
Second.
Motion by Mariah, second by Amy. Any?
Yep.
Looking for a motion to approve the contract with Elite Fence and Deck for renovations to Field 4 as presented.
So, go ahead.
Motion by Pamela,
I'll second.
second by Kurt. Any further discussion?
Is this just removing the fence that's currently there for the backstop?
Yeah, we're gonna remove the backstop, but the one wing of the backstop is actually part of the fence. So we just have to replace the small section, that's why the quote for that is pretty minimal.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, if no further questions, I'll take a vote on the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, so now we're going into field 5, which is
JV.
JV. Yes, there we are. Any comments or additions?
Go for it.
No, you moving home plate, you can talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so if you look at the diagram up here, you can see how the proposed moving the existing practice field over, it goes into the AgriLime. So talking with our baseball coaches, the setback for that home plate to that fence is 60 feet, which is standard for baseball, but it's very far away for kids. So we thought we could move that whole field back about 15 feet to gain some space on that outfield arc also for the baseball, or varsity football team to play. And with that would come some renovations on that field, AgriLime, a little bit of sodding. And I think on fence, on that one, we didn't have too many issues. The fence out there, they do an angle instead of having a straight fence, and we looked at straightening them out because moving that plate back might create an issue in the foul line for the players. So there's a little bit of cost on fence for that. Otherwise, I think that's all we had was fence and magic turf.
Any other comments?
No, and then I don't know if you wanna knock off the, red ball diamond aggregate, you know, it's 18,000, it's paid by truckload as well, it's up to 18,000 for that is what's in there, I don't know if you have any comments.
So a truckload, which is 25 tons, is $1,800 delivered. Red Ball AgriLime is the product to use. The only place you can get it is in Shakopee, Minnesota. We've gotten AgriLime from them for quite some time, well, 10 years since I've been here anyways.
Are we gonna stockpile some then, Mike, or is that all going on the surface?
We're gonna stockpile most of what's going on the surface. When we're all said and done, we will use just as regular building and grounds operation expenses. We will stockpile some, because there's always repairs that you need to make.
Yeah, I remember we finally did that a number of years ago.
Yeah, there is a pile way down on the side.
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah,
Okay.
not much, but.
yeah,
Okay.
a lot. So
Stuff
we're
goes
talking,
away.
you know, the entire program, there's a lot of tons of AgriLime. That's why it equates to the, I think, $18,000, so.
Good.
I have a question, is that dirt?
Pardon me?
Is that baseball dirt?
Yeah, it's the
The
line.
infield,
I just
yeah.
keep hearing
It
the
looks
word and I'm like, I
kitty-
feel like I should know what that means.
It looks
but-
like kitty litter, but.
Okay,
Yep.
and is the pile down at the parking lot by 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I've parked by the AgriLine, now I know.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Moving the JV field, does that not the, like, seating?
No, without, everything outside will be the same.
Okay,
It's
it's
just-
just moving the field.
Yeah, cause
then.
that,
Gotcha.
there, I know Andrews use it for youth sports, the 12U, that's a long way back with a pass ball. But even talking to the JV coach, it's like, even for us, it's a long ways back there. So,
It's like if a ball flies, they have a long way to run, right?
Yeah.
That's the length.
the other thing too is with the backstop, the way it is, it really doesn't stop any foul balls, cause it's just so far back.
Right,
So it might actually help keeping them going out on the South Oak Street and stuff like that,
right,
bringing it back.
okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we can ask further questions on the motion. Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve the contract with Magic Turf for renovations to Field 5 as presented. Motion by Pamela,
Second.
second by Mariah. Any further discussion? Any additional questions? No further questions, I will take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're gonna move on to, looking for a motion to approve the purchase of Red Ball Diamond Aggregate from Bryan Rock Products for an amount not to exceed $18,000 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Dino, second by Kurt. Any further discussion? Any questions? No further questions, I will take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then we're looking for, I'm looking for a motion to approve the contract with Elite Fence and Deck for renovations to Field 5 as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Pamela,
Second.
second by Dina. Any further questions? Any other questions? No further questions, I will take a motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to Field 6.
Field 6 is a forgotten field that nobody even knows is down there. When I started here, it was a grass field, all overgrown. So I renovated it with the help of Mike getting me some material, AgriLime, that we could fix it up. The only real issue with that, it's used not too often, but the youth sports uses it quite a bit. The backstop, just like every other one's got some stretching, it curls up and the balls pass underneath it. It's a pretty small backstop, and I think the quote for Elite was not too bad. I think that's the only improvement we have for Field 6.
Okay, any questions? Okay, well, I'm gonna look for a motion then to approve the contract with Elite Fence and Deck for renovations to Field 6 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dina, second by Amy. Any further questions? Any other questions? Okay, if no further questions, I will take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, is that it, Mr. Stemp, for the,
For these two, Mike can stay up here for the next one, but it is worth pausing, I think, if you don't mind. Not too often do we get Tom Nelson and Mike Renford at a school board meeting, but it is worth recognizing their efforts. I mean, they're the ones up at 3 a.m. to plow snow and to ensure our school is ready for students when we make a decision late and we're going on time. And so, and these two, I can tell you, you wouldn't want me to buildings and grounds director or maintenance because I don't know anything, but these two save our districts a ton of money, just doing things themselves, and I'm very fiscally responsible for our district, and so just want to take a little bit of time to recognize that.
yeah, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to dovetail on that, absolutely. I know this took a hell of a lot of work to put together, you guys. It's just, that's a good thing. I mean, good for you. I wish we didn't have to go through the process of this, but I'll figure that out later. But I mean, I'm glad you're here, thank you. What I do want to make comment though is that I got about a 3-minute video that I sent to our superintendent from last week, was it? When I sent it to you?
Yes.
Mhm. There was a mess out on South Oak, and I don't know if you guys went by there. Cars everywhere, kids everywhere. 50 cars up in now Field 6. Wonderful environment. But can we, since we're saving about, what was it, 230 and 170, so we got 60 grand in there still? Is there a reason?
For Eagle View, we still have other field improvements.
Okay. Why aren't we getting that 75 parking stall, filling that ditch and doing all that at the same time?
That comes more architectural planning and
Yeah, fill with dirt,
engineering.
put a culvert in it and.
It will happen, it will happen.
Okay.
But that's not a project I think we're.
Well, I
willing to take
know,
on.
I'm not blaming that, no, I'm just wondering, I mean, it would make sense to do that, because we're gonna have equipment coming in and out of there, we're gonna have equipment, you know, that sort of thing, so, that's one of the questions I
I
have.
You're
think we
exactly
could-
right.
Yeah.
What?
You're exactly right. It is part of the master plan. It just wouldn't be timed with the field
Okay.
enhancements. But it is part of what the master plan is to take place with the referendum.
So it's on your guys' agenda, you know,
Absolutely.
I hope it's a priority number 1, please. That's so dangerous there, especially the way it was. Anyway, thank you, good work, guys.
And back to what Mr. Stump said, thank you, we appreciate it. And I think especially knowing, I mean, we know what you guys do on a regular basis. I probably don't know all of what you do, but I think also the building project. We know you guys have done a ton for the planning, and I know what's ahead with some of the new lots, some of the new buildings. We're excited, but we appreciate all the extra, so thank you.
Well, us too. I think it makes our jobs easier and gives us a great sense of pride in being able to have facilities that function well and for the community and the users of all of us.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing.
I always feel very proud when people come here, because I'm like, we have a great school. So I feel like it's fun to have people come in, and we appreciate that you guys are in the background, so Thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
I'll say it, yeah, right, Kim. I get many comments of people that say, you know, since you got Tom and Mike over there, this facility's never looked any better.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate you coming. We only have one item left, so.
So Tom, you're good?
I'd like to say thank you
Oh.
for getting the robot for me.
Yeah. I don't even know if they know, to be
I
honest
don't
with
think
you.
you know what it is.
You guys didn't see this?
No,
Oops, Buddy the robot.
Buddy?
Yeah,
Buddy the robot.
I named him Buddy,
I love it.
but
Paints the field, what does it take for the football field? Tell me what you said.
well, it takes about 3 hours, but the lines are as straight as you can get them.
Is it like a lawnmower Roomba? Like it just Roombas for
It
you?
does all the painting of the lines.
Oh, painting.
But we got it mainly for the football fields, and I didn't know how it was gonna work for baseball and softball. And it has worked out, I think, even better than I imagined it would.
Wow.
I can line a baseball field in 8 minutes. I can't even pull a string line down first base and then, in that time.
Then reel it back up.
And then chalk it
That's
and
awesome.
everything else, right?
It's pretty cool.
I will say it is worth noting, because we did look at the budget aspect side of it. So we're leasing it, but the amount of paint saved, you know, from spraying, and this is where you can get into, the amount of paint saved, we're making up our dollars even by leasing this machine because of the cost effectiveness of the amount of paint. I don't know if you have anything to share.
No, but we are due for some paint though. But
Yeah.
we made it all year.
So there is not just time savings, but there's cost savings in that we get it back in full.
That's great. Wonderful.
And it's accurate, and while it's painting a football field or a practice field or varsity softball or baseball field, Tom could be doing other things, and it's just wonderful. And it just goes to work. I mean, robots are, I never used to approve them personally, but they're awesome now.
You guys should get a video of that. I wanna see this.
Well, I took it out to Eagle View because they run the mile, and they had kind of a crude, I wouldn't even call it an oval, it was more like a prism, if you know. It had straight sides with pointed ends. So I brought the robot out, and of course it does its perfect oval out there. And Lisa Martini said, that's great, but can it be shrunk? And it's like, no, it's a perfect 400-meter field. And I said, but wait a minute. So I went into it and I was able to shrink the field down and actually make it smaller for her. So it fit in the footprint that they were on, it's just we have nice curved ends now instead of pointed. So they were very appreciative. The kids were running alongside of it.
Oh, I bet they loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Good. All right, well, do we wanna move on to our
Yes.
last item?
Yep.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion to accept the proposal from Pequot Lake Sanitation for sanitation and recycling services for the period July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2028 as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Amy,
Second.
second by Dina. Any discussion?
Mike, I think you would agree that he's, Tyler Gardner and Lakes Sanitation, Pequot Lake Sanitation have been a great partner with us.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. In
Good.
fact, the 3 years prior to this contract, they did the hauling when Bristol Sanitation had won the bid, if you will. And so they subcontracted through Nisswa, and they've been great to work with. And we have events, you know, Grad Blast or Jackhammer Wrestling Tournament or whatever, we need extra pickups and make a call, and they're there right away to accommodate us. And they've been fantastic to work with, yes.
That's great. Any other questions or comments? Okay, if no further questions, I'm gonna take a vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Two quick things, no action is needed, but we don't get Mike Redford here a lot, him or Tom. But indoor air quality project is progressing. I think you are on emails to all staff. Crane's been delayed till next week, and I don't know if you have any other updates that you want to share with the board on that project.
It's a little bit of a setback with the crane not showing up. They're still doing work that they are part of the project that they have to complete, so it's not like it's been a standstill or anything like that. They're progressing. Thielen's been great to work with. I'm very impressed. Big jobs like that impact heavily in areas like the cafeteria floor. I mean, they put down plastic sheeting and plywood when heavy materials been brought across them and accommodated when we had roller skating and stuff. So they've been just great to work with. Electricians have pretty much an insurmountable task, having to run piping from an area down by the art rooms all the way down to the opposite end of the building, because the new air handlers have a higher amperage requirements, so they gotta run larger pipe to run new wires in, and I feel so bad for the poor guy who got stuck doing this, and he's just, whatever, it's all part of their job, and I said, man, I'd shake your hand, and school would buy you a beer if we could, but you can't do that, so. No, it's been going very well, and they've been really good to work with, so,
Great.
yeah.
Good, that was my first thing, and the second thing is just next meeting.
Yes, so we are looking at possibly moving to July 21st instead of 14th. Can everybody just let me know if you can attend?
Did you say instead of the first?
Instead of,
Well, yeah, that was the question, if
I-
you wanna do
I
that.
think it's instead of, I don't think we need to do
Yep, that's
two.
perfect.
Um,
We're selling bonds on Tuesday, July 15th, and so this, part of the agenda would be approving that on the 21st.
So the timing would just work better, so I don't know, Mariah,
Yes.
can you be there?
Yep.
Amy, yes?
Yes.
Emma?
Mhm.
Kurt?
Sure.
I already had it on the 21st.
I like it, there we go. Dina?
Well, it's my anniversary, so I expect some type of a celebration.
We'll be here with bells on.
And I did talk to Ross earlier, 14th was a no, so 21st actually works better for him as well.
Okay,
Do we have a meeting on the 7th?
no,
No.
the one meeting in July,
Oh.
except for you and I. We'll be here quite a bit, Kurt. Yes, we do, it sounds like we need to have you guys more often. It feels like we didn't get enough time, you know?
So July 21st, 6 o'clock.
6
It'll
o'clock.
be technically a special board meeting, but it'll be a regular.
Great.
agenda.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Stump?
No.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Dina,
Second?
second by Amy. Any discussion? No further discussion. I'll take a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion adjourned. Kurt, you probably get back to that golf course.
We're all right.